Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So we have finished all the pages for our tiny album, and now we need to make covers, and we need to put them into the book and bind the album. So let's start with the covers because they're a little bit different from maybe what you're used to. The construction is the same, material's different. So let me grab, I've got over here. All right, so here are what, with a larger album, you would have cut these out of chipboard. However, this book is so tiny, it's, as I mentioned in my last video, chipboard would just be too big. So this is a very thin cardboard. It was actually the back of a paper stack. I want to say, I can't remember which one. But anyway, so check there. It's about the same size as a cardboard box, like a cereal box. That would work. Just get something thin. You're going to add some mats to it, so it's okay if it's, you don't want super flexible, but as you can see, this is not super stiff either. All right, and then you're going to need a single piece of paper. This one I've already cut, but this is 28-pound Hammermill inkjet color paper. It's a really good quality, super smooth paper. If you tried to wrap cardstock around this, you would have a very difficult time. You really want something much less bulk, thinner, but a good quality. And it's going to be fully matted, so you really don't have to worry about anything showing through it, although it's a pretty heavyweight paper. Stuff doesn't show through it too much. So you're going to need a piece of that. A regular, just single 8.5 by 11 will do the whole thing. And so from your cardboard, just double check, you're going to need two pieces, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 for your front and back, and the spine is 1 5/8 by 2 3/4. Then your piece of paper, you're going to want to cut 1 8.5, which is just, cut across the bottom. Just cut this piece off the bottom, by 4, and then from one of the parts that's left, you're going to cut a piece 3 by 2.5. Okay, so you have that one you can set aside for later. What you're going to do is lay this out just the way you would traditionally lay out a cover, just like this, where you're going to have your front, your spine, and your back. Typically you would leave a 1-inch border, but we're going to leave a 1/2 inch border. You can eyeball it, you can measure it, whatever works for you. What you could do is just take your ruler, lay the 1/2 inch mark down, and then lay these pieces right up against the ruler, like so, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of the frame again. I've got to get better at that. Okay, so let me slide that up. Okay, so you have your pieces. You're gonna lay the 1/2 inch mark along the bottom of your paper. You could draw a line, whatever works for you, and then you're gonna lay your pieces right up against the ruler. Okay, you can use glue, you can use tape. I'm just gonna go ahead and use tape. Just grab some score tape. Oops, actually is this score tape that I've got here? Yeah, this is score tape. Get that out of the way. Oh, my scissors are a mess. Supposedly nothing sticks to those Tim Holtz scissors, but I have not found that to be the case. However, they clean up easy enough with a little alcohol pad or the like. Oh, that's awful. Hang on here. Let me just get some of that off. Okay, that's a little better. I'm gonna need to burnish all this tape down, but I like to just get the tape, all of the tape done, and then burnish all 3 pieces. Now this is just the way I do covers. If you want to do a cover, you have a favorite way that you like to do it, just by all means do it that way. If you had some 1/2-inch score tape lying around, this would probably be the place to use it. Okay, here's that. And now just gonna burnish down all of this tape. I'm also going to use a little bit of glue in these gaps. All right. Now this should measure out just about right to leave a 1/2-inch gap all the way around. So if you're more comfortable, you know, doing your center piece first, certainly you could do that, but I'm just going to work end to end. Tape off. There. That. And I'm just going to give it a little, oops, hang on. This is my art glitter glue here. Just a little bit. Okay. Now you're going to lay it so that it's up against your ruler at the 1/2-inch mark, and also 1/2 inch in from the end, which it looks like I was not. Did I mismeasure that? I did. I put it in. Oh, well, you know what? That's fine. It's already stuck and it stands, so we're just going to leave it there. I put it in 3/4, which I'm sure you were sitting there at home going, no, 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 you've got the wrong measurement. But that's okay, because this is 3/4 is plenty, or 1/2, which is what I've got there. What have I got? I've got a 1/2 there, and a 1/2 there. It looks like it just measured this piece of paper wrong is all, because I really only wanted a 1/2, so that's fine. This one is the spine, and just get that lined up. And normally on my full-size albums, I leave 1/4 inch, but that's going to be too much for this, but I think 1/8 is too little. So just go ahead and go to about 3/16, excuse me, yeah, 3/16, which would be about halfway. You can eyeball it too. Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right, and the last piece. a little bit of glue. Our last piece down. Again, we want to go, and you can eyeball all of this. You do not need to get out your ruler and measure if you don't want to. There we go. Okay. Now, just get that out of the way. I do like the paper to be even all the way around, so since I measured this wrong, let me go ahead and I could cut this on my cutter, but I'm just gonna draw it with pencil and cut it with the scissors. Okay. There we go. So now all of this is ready to be folded. You're going to find it's much easier to fold this because it's just a heavyweight inkjet paper. It's not cardstock. So we do need to trim the corners. I like to do them at an angle and leave just a little bit. I'd rather sneak up on it than accidentally cut too much. Get a fairly small tool to score, but you need to be careful. This is a thin paper compared to your cardstock, so you just want to gently just run your tool, whatever you used to score with, all the way around, just to sort of get it started with how you want it to go. Then you're just going to lift it up. This does not lift up quite so easily, make quite such a sharp edge as cardstock would due to the flexibility of this thin cardboard. But just be easy with it and you should be fine. Okay, now we're going to tape this. And you can use the 1/8 inch that we've been using all along, but the 1/4 inch will also be fine. Just go all the way across. Get rid of those scissors, get these. Oops, I didn't put the pin back in my glove. I'll do that. Okay. I have a bad habit of leaving the pin out of my glue bottle. That was my kitty sneezing. All right. And you just want to repeat that around the edge. start with the long edges. Okay, now the way I do this is I basically, whoops, got my fingers right in the score tape. I like to first run my bone folder right up against the edge of it and then use the bone folder to tip it over. Like so, and then press it down. Okay. Okay. All right. And then we're going to repeat that on the other long side. Take your bone folder. Make sure it's right up against that cardboard, and then just tip it over. Tip it over, and tip it over, and then I've got on my mat there. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the short ends. Before you do the short ends, that's the one I snipped a little bit. You've got these two little bits. Let me see if I can bring it up to the camera. Right there that you need to fold in, and you could use your bone folder to sort of tip them in a little bit, just like so. Or if you're more comfortable with it, you could just sort of use your nail to fold them in, which obviously I'm not that good at. There we go. Like that. It's pretty tiny on this little album, but either way, you want to do it on every album. That'll give you a sharper corner. You're going to remove the tape, and you're going to repeat, just rub that really well to get a nice tight edge, and just fold it over. Okay, and then just, whoops, get your corners. Okay. Now we're going to come down here, we're going to do the same. Okay, just tuck that in, tuck that one in a little bit. Just make sure that one's in. I have a little trouble here where I accidentally cut that one. We shall see. It doesn't really matter in the end because everything's matted. There we go. Yeah, and you can see where I accidentally cut it. You've got a gap there, but that's fine because the mat goes out all the way to the edge, so you'll never see it. And then just run your bone folder in the gaps there so that it catches on that tape that's there. You'll see I've got a pretty wide spine for such a tiny book, but I like a lot of room in my albums for the pages to easily flip and to leave room for any embellishments. You could certainly make it narrower if you wanted to, but I think that's a good size. Okay, and then you just want to gently bend. Unlike a thick cardstock, this 28-pound paper doesn't really have too much trouble bending. You shouldn't have any difficulty with it. Just bend. Okay, so there's your cover. Okay, and you can see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a little bit of shadow of where the tape is and stuff because this paper's so thin, but it doesn't matter because you're going to mat everything. And then this piece goes in here like so to cover the spine. Okay. And just straighten out the end of my tape. You could fully line the inside if you want, but because it's going to get matted, I'm just doing the spine area. I'm sorry, I just realized I'm out of the frame. Okay. There we go. That. And then actually, I think it's going to be easier to put the tape here than on the paper. So let's do that. Again, if you've got some wider score tape, this would be the place to use it. Save yourself a little time. I think Country Craft Creations, I know they do, sells like a full sheet of the stuff, and I haven't ordered some yet, but I'm going to, because I think that would probably make covering covers very quick. Alright, so that's good. Alright, and just burnish all that down. Now remember, you're going to put the short one this way and the long one this way. Alright. And when we get to making the spine's going to be exactly the same height as this piece of paper that we're currently working with. So you want to try and get this piece of paper nicely centered top to bottom, because that'll make putting in your spine a whole lot easier if you can. Alright, and I can hardly see it, so I'm just guessing. And we'll hope for the best. Just center it as best you can. Don't worry too much about this side to side, because it's going to get matted, but top to bottom you do want to try and get that centered, like I said, to make your eventual inserting of your pages easier. Okay. And the interior mats come very nearly to this fold, so you know, if you're a little off side to side, that's okay. There is our little tiny cover, and you can see it's kind of fat and chunky, so you can make a chunky little album out of it, but that's good. Okay, you can set that aside, and I'm going to take a little break and clean up all of this score tape, backing, and we'll get ready for the next step.